Hey, on the channel, let's return to the Kyle Peterson top 5, but in today's video, we're doing something different. We're counting down my top 5 most wanted looks for the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another top 5 countdown, this time with a twist. As today's video, we're counting down my top 5 most wanted looks of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And Dusty Rhodes, no stranger to action figures. He's had them from Hasbro, he's had them from Mattel, he's had them from Jakks, and all points in between over the years. However, there's still a lot of looks, dare I say iconic looks for the American Dream Dusty Rhodes that we have not got in action figure form yet, and I'm hoping that day is coming very soon. And of course, as usual, this is my list, so it's 100% correct, but your list can also be 100% correct. Put it in the comments down below. And as usual with these top 5 countdowns and top 10 countdowns, we're going to start at number 5, work our way to number 1, number 1 being my most wanted attire for Dusty Rhodes. So without further ado, let's kick off the countdown at number 5. All right, we begin the countdown here at number 5, and the number 5 one for me goes back to his time in the WWF. And most people think of him in the WWF in the black and yellow polka dots, maybe the yellow and black polka dots, depending who you ask, maybe a dash of the red polka dots every once in a while, but that's not where I'm going to here. We're going to one that always stuck out in my brain for some reason. I always called it the Grateful Dead Dusty Rhodes. It was Dusty Rhodes in tie-dye. Yes, tie-dye. And of course, you know Dusty. He loves following around David Allen Coe, good friend of the channel, Waylon Jennings. But he also dabbled in a little bit of the Dead. Just go with me. Just go with me. But he did wear the psychedelic tie-dye at least a few times. I think one time maybe. But it definitely stuck out in my brain way back when. Still sticks out right now. That's a look I want. I think it's an easy one Mattel could do. Let's see that at number 5. Number 4 time in the countdown here. And number 4, we ditch that common man and we go to the classy man here. Of course, Dusty can pull off about any look, but back in the NWA, he pulled something everybody thought was impossible. He even brought Magnum TA in and they did a joint interview together, dressed in fabulous fur coats. Yes, the number 4 selection is fur coat Dusty Rhodes. Hey, get us a Magnum if we can get Magnum back. I don't know if he is going to have a long life over there at Powertown. We'll see what happens with that. But would love to see Dusty in the fur coat. I think it would be very funny. It would be a nice deep cut, maybe a ringside exclusive in the future. I would be here for it. Maybe they can make it into a 2-in-1 figure somehow. But I think it would be very, very cool. I think customizers would enjoy the fur coat jacket, maybe for other things. Heck, you could even get a Cody Rhodes edition in the fur coat, as he has worn that in the past. Just a very iconic look, a moment in time once again, and one that comes in at number 4 in the top 5 countdown. At the halfway point in the countdown, you got your list together. Put it in the comments down below. But here we are at number 3, and we're going to another deep cut, Dusty Rhodes. This one going back to his time in WCW. This time going back to his time in the War Games cage. Of course, Dusty invented the War Games once upon a time, but he did have quite the nasty team once upon a time. And I'm going to call this one the Nasty Boys Dusty Rhodes. That's the one I want right here, where he's got the Nasty Boys shirt on. Always thought that was cool. Definitely liked him teaming up with the Nasty Boys. And of course, Dustin and Terry Funk was even there for that show. A very cool moment in time look once again. I guess if they still have the Nasty Boys in contract, I don't know if they do. It's weird. We haven't had Nasty Boy figures in a heck of a long time from any of these retro companies or WWE Mattel, so I don't know exactly where they lie right now. But if they do have access to the Nasty Boys, you would have to think Mattel could make this one. Very cool look. And once again, you could go to a 2-in-1 Dusty. He's had a few different looks around this time. We got a very similar looking head sculpt body style in the Monday Night Wars recently that could be repurposed for this. Would love to see it. That's why Dusty Rhodes War Games Nasty Boy style comes in at number 3. We've hit the number 2 spot in the countdown. You got your list together. Make sure you put it in the comments down below. Don't forget to thumbs up the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as I always do say. But here we are at number 2. And number 2 would represent maybe the most iconic promo of all time. If not that, maybe Dusty's most iconic promo of all time. It is Hard Times, baby. let's get Dusty Rhodes in a suit. Why wouldn't we? He's got hard times. He's putting the hard times out there. He's reaching out to touch someone. That's what he's going to do. But I'm here for this classic look from Dusty from that iconic interview. It would be a fun one to have. Obviously, a little bit deep cut. I don't know how well it would sell as far as an action figure release, but this is just me spitballing what I would like to see. Maybe it would be a good exclusive, maybe a part of a 2-in-1, part of a box set of Dusty Rhodes. However they do it, I don't care, but give me the Hard Times promo Dusty Rhodes at number 2, which means there can only be one. What is my most wanted Dusty Rhodes look of all time? Stay tuned. Here we are, we're at the top spot, the number 1 most wanted Dusty Rhodes attire I want via Mattel, from me, of course. Once again, put your list in the comments down below, but Dusty's had a lot of looks. I would say for most people, the polka dots is the most iconic, and I'm not saying polka dots at number 1, even though there is a couple of polka dot looks we haven't received yet. I'm open to those as well. They could be number 6, how about? But number 1 for me is my most wanted Dusty Rhodes. I've talked about it on the channel numerous times. We did get this from Jakks once upon a time, but now it's time for Mattel to give us this. Have to think it's going to come one of these days, but it is a late in the career Dusty Rhodes. We'll call it ECW/WWE Dusty Rhodes, of course, at the end of his wrestling career. I would love to see him in the blue jeans, of course, ready for the bunkhouse fights with Steve Corino in ECW, for example, or maybe his match with his sons against the Shield. I would just like a late in the wrestling career, late in life, end of life Dusty Rhodes when he was hanging up the boots once and for all. We need a good old man Dusty, preferably for me, the ECW look back in the day. Very similar to that Adrenaline 2-pack we've got with Cody Rhodes from Jakks at the end of the Jakks days. So an iconic one for me from where I sit, and as you guys know right here at this very YouTube table, I would love to see this one. And I feel like there is a chance this one could happen in the future. So we'll just have to wait and see. But there's a lot more meat on the bone for Dusty than I think a lot of people do think of. A guy that didn't have tons and tons of different looks to him, but we showed right here 5 that have not been released yet on top of all the ones we've had in the past. I think there's a good opportunity for some more Dusty Rhodes in the future. We'll just keep our fingers crossed for those and hope they do come to fruition. So number 1, we're going to call it ECW Dusty Rhodes, the number 1 selection for me. But once again, what's your selection? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. We got even more content for you, of course, over there on Patreon. Patreon, the best way to support this YouTube channel and all the content it does bring. Check out ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson. Check out my book, The Complete Guide to the Jakks Class Superstars series, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and of course, digitally, SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, and now TikTok. So for the American Dream Dusty Rhodes Top 5, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
We're going to the